I don't think anyone would call it outrageous for me to say that Pokemon Legends Arceus is probably the best Pokemon game released in the last decade. I'm serious. This game is genuinely phenomenal. But there are a couple things I want to get out of the way here at the beginning of the video. That way people looking for that kind of thing can feel satisfied that I've said it. Yes, I do think the graphical fidelity of the game is a bit lacking. Now, a lot of people have their own reasons for why this seems to be the case. However, one of the biggest things I hear is because this game is on the Switch or because it's Pokemon and yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, there's a few things that has to be known about Pokemon and the Switch. One, the Switch has way better looking games made by way smaller teams like Monolith Soft, who made the world for Breath of the Wild and who's done Xenoblade 1, Definitive Edition, and who did Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and they did Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U. And they have made way more detailed worlds with a significantly smaller team and with infinitely less money. Game Freak is a multi-billion-dollar company, and the fact that the game still has suffering graphical fidelity like this is a bit ridiculous. Though I'm still going to say that I do think the game looks beautiful in some instances. However, that's just me, but I do want people to know that I do understand if someone were to say they don't like the graphics of this game, I could completely understand their reasoning for that, because in some areas it does just look kind of bad. The pop-in is atrocious, the render distance is terrible, things like that. But overall, I don't think this is an overly horrible looking game. I do think it in fact can look beautiful in a lot of instances, but that's all I'm really going to say on that topic. But this game still overall is one of the best open world games I've played on Switch, though I don't think overall it's better than like Breath of the Wild. But the fact that this is Pokemon's first go at something even anywhere near open world is crazy to me. Now, just to get this sorted out, this game isn't technically open world, it's region based. So I guess you can consider anyone that's played Monster Hunter, imagine 4 to 6 Monster Hunter maps all linked together by loading screens. That's essentially what this game is, and I think that's more than good enough, because again, that still makes the world infinitely bigger than Pokemon has ever done in the past. Now, one thing in particular I love about this is how fast and streamlined everything is. You don't have to initiate a battle to go and catch Pokemon. It's completely seamless. If you want to catch a Pokemon, take out a Pokeball and throw it. And it's all completely up to you. You have to get your aim right. You have to choose which Pokeball will be best for the situation. Sometimes you'll have to make sure your positioning is better. Sometimes you might be better to stealth things out, hide in the grass and wait for them to move into the right position and then catch them from behind. Sometimes that's the best way to do about it. But sometimes you have to go and watch Pokemon, see what kind of course they make and walk about. And sometimes if they don't really do anything that's really going to help you out, sometimes you'll need to throw a berry or something in a different direction to attract their attention. That way you can go behind them and catch them the easiest way you can. Things like that add so much more replayability to this game and overall add more player interactivity into this world. It makes the world feel lived in, and it makes me feel like I'm a part of it because there's more interaction between just me selecting from a menu to go and throw a Pokeball and having the game decide if that's good enough for me. Now, it just adds so much more, and I genuinely love this fact. The same thing comes with battling. Though you don't really have to battle a lot of things, you will have to end up, if you want to say catch a Pokemon, but you startle it and it is aggroed, because a lot of times, a lot of Pokemon in this game are on site. Some Pokemon, like a lot of the weaker ones, will just run away from you, but some will be on site. No matter how strong you get, that Shinx from the starting area will still be on site with you. So you will have to end up initiating a battle with somebody that by just selecting your Pokemon and throwing it out. That way you can initiate the fight. And then it will be like classic Pokemon to where, depending on how you choose to do so, you can weaken the Pokemon, get it a status effect, etc., etc. That way it becomes easier to catch, because again, trying to catch a Pokemon when it's aggroed immediately outright sometimes will just not be right for you. So sometimes you may have to weaken it, just like how you've done in the past. Same thing with alpha Pokemon. I, for one, basically never attempted to immediately catch an alpha Pokemon because I knew there was no real point. These Pokemon are already much stronger than an ordinary Pokemon, so it wouldn't make much sense to really try to distract them and then try to catch them because they're gonna break out. They're stronger than your average Pokemon. So for me, I would try to distract them and then use a Pokemon, throwing one of my actual Pokemon at their backs. That way you can catch them unaware and actually go ahead and maybe get 1 to 2 attacks in before they attack you. Because one thing I've noticed about this game is everything can kill you, because for some reason Pokemon are just overall much stronger in this game than they normally are. And this is I'm saying this fact is like, say Pokemon could be 12, 13, 14, 15 levels lower than you and still kill you in 2 to 3 attacks. I'm serious, it's ridiculous. Now, I think this adds a certain amount of challenge to the game that hasn't been in Pokemon titles for a while, and I do really enjoy that. However, I think they really did this because it means that people have to go ahead and really utilize the new system of combat, that being the strong and agile styles. Now, if you were going to go ahead and use an agile style for one of your moves that you've mastered, that would allow you to be able to possibly get 2 or more attacks in before the next Pokemon can get their attack in. However, if you were to go and use a strong style move, your attack would do a lot more, unlike the agile style, which will do less if you decide to do it in regards to, you getting another turn. Strong style will do more damage, but you won't get that next turn immediately. Unless it's a really, really different scenario, like you use a strong style move and then someone else uses a strong style move and then you get your turn right next because you both used it. That would only be the only scenario I can really see that happening. But 9 times out of 10, if you use a strong style move, then the next person's gonna get at least 2 attacks in on you, which in most scenarios, like I said before, will be more than enough to kill you unless the type advantage is just right. But I still do think this is a really good way that adds some high risk, high reward kind of thing, because using agile style can sometimes be exactly what you need to weaken an alpha Pokemon, for instance, just enough to get them in the red and use that second turn to, instead of attacking them again, to throw your Pokeball. Now, of course, this can end up going bad because if it, busts out or something, then yeah, you may have to end up worrying about something. But if it doesn't, I think generally the game is pretty, friendly with this. I do think that more often than not, when you get a Pokemon in the red and you attempt to capture them, at least in an Ultra Ball's sake, you will catch it, even if it's a significantly stronger Pokemon. Like I was catching level 70 alpha Pokemon once I got them in the red with an Ultra Ball on my first try. So I genuinely think, when in doubt, if you have an Ultra Ball and they're in the red, you're gonna catch it. So you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. But sometimes getting them to that state is the hardest part, because again, you can kill people really easily in this game, not just them kill you. So it takes a whole bunch of planning, which is why I think it's so important to utilize agile style. Because if you don't, you're gonna honestly be killing people that even may be a higher level than you. Because there were numerous times where my level 68 Pokemon was killing something that was like level 70, in one hit. And it's not even just a super effective move. It's just regular effective. And it's crazy how this is so crazy for me. But genuinely, I do think it added some high risk, high reward. Maybe I wanted to risk it and get a little bit more damage on them so they'll be easier to catch. Because again, I think one of the biggest, risk of this whole gameplay and battling and catching formula is that you're going to have to do it a whole bunch. Like you're going to be catching hundreds of Pokemon at all times, just because you have to be constantly out there, because catching Pokemon is one of the best ways to get your Pokemon to level up in this game, alongside ranking up and making every expedition's worth of rewards you get be that much more. So you will be having to do it frequently. I think this is a good time to bring up the crafting system in this game, because with how much you have to catch and battle Pokemon in this game in particular, so much more than you normally would in these Pokemon games, it's really important that you have to start crafting everything you need. Because in general, because you have to use Pokeballs and Great Balls and stuff so much in this game, you're not going to be ever having money if you just keep buying it, which of course at some point you will be able to buy most types of balls in the game. It's not really resourceful to go ahead and do that, because again, a lot of the money you get will become more, after you leave each expedition if you're ranking up. And by ranking up, you're going to be ranking up more the more you catch Pokemon and can start completing more of the Pokedex. So again, ranking up to get more rewards for all the Pokemon you catch will overall be the key to victory in this game. So you want to craft as much as possible, but you can only craft with what you have. So this game will constantly be making you explore the world for different kinds of resources, whether it's using your Pokemon to break stones to get, tumblestone, or you need to be able to be hitting trees, to get apricots. All these different things are going to be needed to be crafted to make what you need, whether it be potions or revives or Pokeballs. All these things are going to be requiring you to explore the world, which then requires you to go and catch Pokemon, which then requires you to go ahead and battle Pokemon. Overall, they designed this brilliantly. And I always say one of the most important things about open world games is not exactly the world itself, but how the player interacts with it. And this game forces a player to interact with its world by making everything you need to progress something you can only obtain by exploring the world. Because again, you can get by buying Pokeballs and stuff like that, but you're gonna start noticing you have no money to do that. Meaning, so if you're gonna want to start ranking up faster and getting all your Pokemon leveled up, you're gonna need to catch Pokemon. And to do that, because you have no money to buy any, you're gonna have to explore the world and go and get those resources yourself, meaning you can't just stay in one area doing that. You're gonna have to keep exploring the world to go and get more resources. That in turn is making us interact with this world. And of course, there's always the fair spots, we always go to, but we're gonna have to keep exploring more and more, find more trees, find more rocks, etc., 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 and going to different areas, because different areas will give us more. Different Pokeballs require different resources, so we're going to need more and more and more of these resources to go and get the better balls, but we're going to need at least 2 iron chunks to make an Ultra Ball. So that means we have to go and get these double what we were doing before. So that in turn is making us explore this world. And because the world is always, over flooding with different kinds of Pokemon, maybe you'll have a shiny there or a different species you hadn't seen there. All that brings a childlike whimsicality to exploring this world. I genuinely think Pokemon Legends Arceus is the Pokemon world we were imagining as a kid. This is the world we saw them exploring in the Pokemon anime, just in, I guess, in a more older setting. Everything from battling to catching Pokemon, it's all fun. And not even to mention the lore implications this game kind of brings off. At the very beginning, we fall out of a space-time rift after talking with Arceus, and he challenges us to go ahead and catch every Pokemon. That way we can actually have an encounter with him at the end. But most people have to complete the Pokedex by then, and most people probably won't do that by the end. And as of this recording, I did not do that. I did just go ahead and beat the game, but I still caught hundreds of Pokemon, and I'm out here going to try to complete the Pokedex so I can get that interaction with Arceus. However, again, I do think what they did for this game is really great. I think this game has one of the best end games in the series. Now, I don't think it necessarily beats Gen 7's for me, because again, traveling to different universes via a wormhole and stuff, you kind of can't beat that kind of crap for me, man. I'm a big time travel and sci-fi kind of dude, man. I love that kind of stuff. And this game really does it too, again, with the space-time rift and implicating our character is from a different world, because, he flat out says it, and from the world he used to live in, Pokemon and people do live together, but they don't do that in this world, at least not yet. So I'm starting to think how originally we all thought this character was from the future. I'm starting to think he's from not just the future, but he's from a completely different world altogether. As Gen 7 kind of showed us that all these different worlds, and in this vast Pokemon multiverse, a lot of these worlds have very different pasts, and these worlds are very, very different. Some of them might not even have people in them, as we saw in Gen 7. So I really do think that overall this is adding something huge for the Pokemon multiverse. I do think it was really cool being able to interact with Dialga and Palkia, and the whole resolution between the Diamond Clan and Pearl Clan. And overall, I would have liked to see more, maybe a little insight in how things kind of get together to become Sinnoh later on, because again, it's called the Hisui region, and this is supposed to be Sinnoh just long ago. But I really would have liked to see, like, say in the end, the Diamond and Pearl clans actually merge into one clan alongside the Galaxy team. Everybody kind of merge into one just big group, and just be this one people of Hisui, because at the end of the day, most of this game, we have these people kind of just standing for their own convictions, despite all wanting the same thing. At the end of the day, the Diamond and Pearl clans, though they differ in their ideology of who the almighty Sinnoh is, at the end of the day, all of these people just want to live with Pokemon and be thankful that they're able to live each and every day here and want peace. They all want the exact same thing, but they let their differences kind of divide them and have done so for many, many years. So I really just kind of would have liked a little more resolution than what we got at the end, and would have liked to see them officially kind of disband Diamond and Pearl clans and Galaxy Team and all just become one big kind of symbolic group, you know, because I really think that would have went along with the message that they were trying to go with at the end of the day. I have to say as well, since I hadn't really touched on this yet, the noble Pokemon were honestly really good yet really disappointing in this game at the same time. While I'd probably say the highlight was Arcanine, and the next one would probably say it was Electrode. That one was really good for me too. Other than that, I'd kind of say they were a big disappointment, if that makes any sense. It just, in the end, it feels like that they wanted to try really hard with these, but there was way too many easy ways to cheese them, because sometimes you didn't even actually have to go and battle them. Because again, you were supposed to end up throwing a bunch of bombs at them to lower their health, and that would get them in a situation to where they're tired. That way you can go and throw a Pokeball at them and actually initiate a fight, a traditional Pokemon battle. However, sometimes you didn't even need to do that, because at the end of the day, their actual fight ends when their main yellow HP bar goes all the way down. So you could just beat them that way if you really wanted to. And I had a talk with one of my friends about it, Bruce N, shout out to him. He was kind of feeling the same way. And I was telling him about how disappointed I was, because in one certain fight that I won't spoil, I was kind of like, wow, I didn't even actually have to go and battle them normally. And he said you actually couldn't do that. And I found that to be even more disappointing. I guess in a way it's like, I wish oh, maybe it was just because I was over leveled. So if I replayed the game, it wasn't so over leveled, then maybe I could get a better fight out of this. But no, I wouldn't have either way. Just overall became a really disappointing fight. But at least the music was good, and I'm sure most of you all will catch my drift if you did beat this game already. I can't really speak too much about the post game. From what I hear, it's really, really good, and I haven't really done most of that yet, as I did just beat it yesterday. Those of you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys saw I tweeted out immediately when I beat the game, and I gave a short version of this video, I guess you could say, in one tweet. But I had to talk about this. I just couldn't go through today without making this video. I'm not too sure when this video will be up. It probably won't be up the day I'm recording this, as I generally don't structure things that way. But I really did enjoy Pokemon Legends Arceus. While it feels like the biggest step forward this series has done in decades, at the same time, it feels like a half step for what's to come, if that makes any sense. If that makes any sense, I'm sure you guys kind of understand what I mean. It feels like this is the perfect step to get us where we truly want to go. This made people fall in love with Pokemon again. And I feel this is the most amount of anticipation we've had for a new Pokemon release. So now that we've all started to beat this game and everything, I feel like a lot of us are wondering what's next. It has us wondering about the 9th generation of Pokemon. Will we go back to traditional Pokemon after this? I have no idea, and if it does, I'd like it to be more styled after this, because again, Pokemon Legends Arceus in a way is a traditional Pokemon game, as battles still, are in a traditional sense. However, there were some features, kind of removed because it doesn't really make sense for the time period, like having a PC on the go, which I really did miss, but it makes sense with the time period of us not having that. The Pokemon are all sent back to the pasture. And I do think battling not being included also makes sense thematically for this game, because the setting, most people are scared of Pokemon. People in this world don't generally live with Pokemon. So again, it makes sense for, online battling, fighting against trainers from all over the world doesn't really make sense in regards to what this game is trying to say. So I know some people are kind of upset you can't battle in this game. I feel it makes the most sense here, No, I do think though it really can set up for another game in this series. Like I mentioned in my last Pokemon Legends Arceus video, maybe you will have a Pokemon Legends Deoxys, or Pokemon Legends Jirachi or something like that takes place in the far future maybe. And in that, we can for sure have all those other features that might not have made it into this game, to be able to actually return. We can actually battle. It does play like this game. Maybe we'll be able to go to other planets. Maybe the other, different areas will go to our different planets instead. I think that would be really cool, and it's a really kind of a scene we haven't seen for Pokemon yet. Despite us going to different worlds and stuff in Gen 7, that was via a wormhole. I still think it'd be cool to go to different worlds in traditional sense. I think that'd be cool. But let me know what you all think. Did you all enjoy Pokemon Legends Arceus? Do you have the game? And what are your overall thoughts on it? If you don't have the game, and what are your reasons for not doing so? Are you kind of just not a fan of how the game looks? This doesn't really look like a game for you. You kind of prefer the more traditional sense, or are you just falling off Pokemon altogether? Let me know in the comments down below. And again, if you have played this game, let me know how some of your adventure has gone. Who is your starter? What's your team looking like? How are your overall thoughts of the game in general? Overall, what do you think of the lore? Let me know all that stuff in the comments below. And just so we can make sure that YouTube kind of pushes this video out, share this video with a friend. If even if you think they might not be really into Pokemon, maybe this video will kind of give them that push to giving this game a chance. Let me know in the comments below. Share this video out and like this video if you did enjoy Pokemon Legends Arceus. That would really mean a ton to me. And subscribe if you'd like more Pokemon Legends Arceus videos. But thank you all so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce. Remember everyone to play some games, have some fun, support Pokemon Legends Arceus, and enjoy your day.